them. All have failed.
Welcome to the adventure of Strange Worlds, a movie that people ended up really hating, or not liking, or just not being interested in for reasons. But here I'm gonna give my honest opinions. I am well aware of the marketing around this movie, and I gotta say, I was absolutely surprised that it turned out to not be as bad as people were saying. Is it the best Disney movie ever? Not by a stretch. But is it the worst thing to ever grace the screen? No. And dare I say it, while barring other concepts, it actually made me feel kind of refreshed that they at least tried to come up with something. So there's this world, and these people are like permanently stupid or something. It's like those commercials where they make people look as though they're so freaking stupid. Like normal things that were supposed to be fine for them to do for hundreds of years all of a sudden become like ridiculously hard to the point where you're left questioning how they ever survived this long. Well, that's how this world was, and it was surrounded by a whole bunch of mountains. Mountains that nobody could ever pass. That's where Jaeger Clade comes in, the bravest explorer there ever was. It's obviously a play off of Indiana Jones. So him and his son, Searcher, who's really into botany, end up going on many adventures, and his son is obviously not like him. His son is his sidekick. But it doesn't matter because he loves his son so much. I do like the animation for the comic style at the beginning of the movie. I think that's one of the best things about it. Anyway, while Searcher and Jaeger are on their expedition, Jaeger finds these electric plants. He touches one and they go sparky, sparky, spark. Sparky yells and it ends up causing a cave-in, but of course Searcher is stupid. Sorry, Searcher's not like his father, so his father has to be the one to Super Mario jump all the way down there and save his son. I thought his father was gonna be mad at him, but his father's like, alright, let's just keep going. They come at an impasse. Searcher's like, we need to stay here. I'm not like you, Dad, you big man, masculine dude who just wants to search for things. Me, plant guy, not that dude who just wants plants here to change our future. The thing is, the father is actually pretty awesome because if he had not had the explorer gene or that personality, they would have never found these plants in the first place. Father says this is what we've been training our whole lives for. So this girl who's a family friend's like, well, you know what? He's got a point though. Your son found something that could be a future of our world. But poor Jaeger's like, well, here's your way back home. I'm gonna keep going. 25 years later. That plant that Mr. New Junior Clade dude has found is now their way of life, and his John Krasinski looking ass is like a legend in this big town. Now they got airships and electricity and all the things that you probably are used to seeing in your everyday world as you know it. Food is looking delicious though, I'm not gonna lie. It looks freaking amazing. We meet the main character's wife and the main character's son. I don't remember his name. I remember the father's name is Searcher and his father's name is Jaeger, but for the life of me, I cannot remember the son's name. I know that their dog has 3 legs and the kid likes farming with his father and the dog is super cute and the plants are still electrifying. Ethan, that's his name. I had to hear the other people say it. Anyway, his friends come by and they're like, Primal Outpost, the card game they like. And they're talking and doing all this stuff only for the Diazo guy that he likes to pop out at the last minute, pretend like he wasn't there. What was he, hiding in the back the whole time, lying down, waiting for an opportune moment to surprise him and let him know he was out there? Pretty weird. Anyway, it's clear that Ethan really likes this Diazo guy. And then there's a thing about him being an explorer and he's like, wow, I'm an explorer, just like my grandfather. They're like super close to each other. Then his dad comes and is like, oh my god, is that the guy you keep talking about? What? Word. And he does super weird dad things.
You kids say steep.
Oh god, cringe. Anyway, everything's fine. There's a statue of Searcher and his father, but Searcher is like terrified that his son is gonna turn to his dad, and they're all enjoying themselves and doing those freaking dances like that stupid commercial for the freaking Grubhub, DoorDash, whatever the hell it was. It just annoyed the shit out of me. I don't know why. The scene elicited such anger. Maybe it's because it reminded me of that. But man, it was annoying. It was so freaking annoying. Anything with animated characters dancing whenever food is involved makes me want to shoot them. Sorry. All good now. So then this big ass airship that they've never seen before comes out of nowhere. And then it's the old friend, Callisto, the woman from his crew from when he was a child. She's like, oh my God, your dad must be so proud of you. Like, totally. I'm sorry. She doesn't actually talk like that, but sort of. Anyway, she's like, look, there's like a problem with your little green ball plants. Look, Hulk's testicles are dried up and something is causing it. Something is killing them. And we're gonna lose life as we know it if we don't find the root of the problem. Ethan really wants to go with his dad because he's actually more like his grandfather and he wants to explore, but his father says no because it's too dangerous.
My name's Caspian. I'm a huge fan
thank you.
of your dad. Do you think you could forge his autograph?
What?
Listen up!
Thank you, Captain.
So they talk about how this plant is a single organism. It has a root system that meets all the way in the middle. So later, Callisto, whatever her name is, yes, I'm bad with names, says that whatever's making the pando plant crop sick is doing it under the earth. People were trying to explore the area, and then this big old hole fell out from underneath them. So they travel down this big hole. Turns out that Ethan stowed away on the ship because of course he did, and he took his dog. Like, if you know that this whole expedition is dangerous, I get it, the dog is the mascot. But why in universe would the freaking main character take your dog to an unknown world that you don't know anything about, where your dog can be in danger? You know, especially since your dog doesn't have opposable thumbs and has 3 legs, no less. Like, he's even more at a disadvantage. Then they get attacked by these, like, freaking horse ribbon things that look like pteranodons. There's this big action scene, and the son, his mother is there because she was following the ship trying to tell her husband that Ethan was on the ship. Because she's a pilot, she saves them, never having flown something like this before. And they all land in this weird area that looks eerily like the bronchioles of lungs. The fact that they have these palpulae-looking things, I immediately thought that, wow, this looks like the inside of an animal. If you know anything about anatomy, that's the first thing that you would think of after seeing this. Then you have the stream of things, and they're eating, and some of them are freaking blue, and then they turn red, like a stream of blood. Then you have these things that comb through the cells. And this world is actually breathtaking to look at. It is beautiful. All these living organisms. We see Pando's root system. Then we meet Splat, the marketing thing. That's like, go and kill those things over there. Like freaking T-cells. This big Santa Claus ruffian person saves them. It is revealed to be Searcher's father. He got stuck here 25 years ago. The people of the ship are like, look, we're gonna save Searcher, but we have to, like, fix the ship first to do that. And the Indian guy's like, yeah, you know, you guys, you tell me to, like, watch your son, and I didn't, and now he's gone. Because when people tell you to watch someone, you do literally the opposite. Good job. You had one fucking job, sorry. Ethan, who does everything to get everybody else in trouble by not following the rules, falls off the edge of a cliff, and these big nudibranch looking things cause him to slide off. He loves exploring, just like his granddad. This part could honestly be so freaking scary. He names this being Splat.
Ow!
I laughed at that when I first saw it because it actually looked like it hurt him for a moment there. The way he held his face like he was processing the slap and seeing stars, that was very well done. It's clear this thing is leading him away, and it's like, you want your dad's handkerchief? Follow me. It's even more clear to me that they're inside a living organism because as the father is blazing these things off, like blazing a trail, these big sauropod looking things go everywhere he puts these blaze things, and it shakes these things off. They're like these mucousy blob things, and they start to grow back the papillae things. I'm like, oh no, this looks like it's a freaking system like cells at work. And all these animals are like the immune system and whatnot. The father further solidified this when he said that he went to the burning sea and couldn't cross it. Burning sea, huh, like acid. Like gastrointestinal stomach acid shit. Okay, we're inside some freaking beast. The whole movie is about Father Jaeger over here butting heads with his son because they're so different, and he doesn't understand why his son went into farming, and his father, I mean, his son is like, why are you an explorer, you know, and you left and whatnot, and mom moved on. Now she's with some dude. These bronchial looking things are breathing because it's clear that they're freaking lungs. Funny how everything else has an issue with foreign objects being inside the body, but the humans, I guess, don't tick it off unless convenient. Regardless of whether or not these are inner system things, this is exactly the kind of world I would create if I'm studying for anatomy or I'm studying for my science class. I love making up worlds like this. Different creatures that carry on the jobs of the real world counterparts, so it's easier for you to understand what's going on. I absolutely love that. So it tickled me fresh when I found out that they had an anime called Cells of Work that did the exact same thing. Anyway, Splat is waiting for Ethan to come because he's like, can you go stand under there where those monsters are gonna eat you? You're obviously not, you don't belong here, so I need you to go over there and like get eaten. But the creature accidentally grabs one of the berry things and starts getting electrified really badly. It hurts him and you feel really bad for him. And then because he helps to thing its paw, mucus tentacle thing, it feels really bad. And it's like, oh no, maybe not eat him because he's helping me. Oh no, what have I done? This is where he meets his grandfather. His grandfather saves them all. There's this big action sequence that they do it Disney style, how they argue while they're running for their lives because that's a thing that people do. Later on, Jaeger spruces up and he bonds with his grandson, but he and the father, Searcher, drive the grandson very crazy because they just can't see eye to eye. His grandson looks so much like him. And as different as Searcher and his father are, they're actually very alike in a lot of their pig-headed ways.
Who is it?
It's no one. Diazo. His name is Diazo.
Diazo, huh?
I really like him a lot. I just don't know how to tell him because I just get this. I always get some of this.
Hey, let your grandpa give you some solid advice.
You don't know this man, you just immediately start going into relationship stuff. But then again, they are a lot like each other, so I guess that makes sense. I just found it quite interesting that they added Diazo as the romantic interest, but then nothing ever comes of it later. Not saying I wanted to, because, you know, this is obviously an Indiana Jones ripoff or inspirational thing, especially considering that Dennis Quaid is playing this guy. But if you're gonna bring it up, why not follow it through? I don't know, it's just very freaking weird. And I know there's a lot of people that have an issue with the main character being gay. Yes, he is gay. Yes, they make mention of it because he likes the Diazo guy that they showed in the first intro. But honestly, what I do appreciate here is that it is not his entire identity, because your entire identity is not who you fuck unless you're a prostitute. So yeah, I'm staying with that. But if he's gonna be all like kooky with his grandfather and he's gonna make mention of Diazo with how much he likes them and how much his parents keep bringing it up, you would think that later on, him and Diazo, or you would actually see him saying, hey, Diazo, kind of like you, or them doing something, and nothing ever happened. So then what was the point of even putting in there in the first place? You know what I'm saying? With hetero relationships in Disney, they do that, and then they follow through at the end. But with this, they what? Just put it in there for the sake of putting it in there? Seems very suspect. Almost like they didn't really actually even care about the character being gay. They just put it there to shut people up. Like, nobody was even asking. So now they reach the acid river ocean thing, and Splat's like, you know what? I can talk to these things. And this thing that we built up from the beginning of the movie that was supposed to be this monumentally hard thing to do, I'm just gonna talk to these blobby things, and I'm gonna give them some Pepto-Bismol and just instruct them where to freaking steer the ship so that, you know, nothing happens. You would think that these people would keep an eye on their dog. The amount of times this dog almost dies. I wonder if this dog ended up with 3 legs because the owners were so freaking negligent. You were literally sailing over an ocean of splishity splashity freaking acid, and you don't have a fucking leash on your dog. What is the matter with you? I'm sorry. It makes me so mad because this isn't the first time or the freaking 3rd time. It's like the 10th to 12th time that this dog is left in an alien world to his own devices and almost killed or sucked dry. I kid you not. rant aside, I'm sorry. I get freaking triggered when it comes to shit like that. Don't get a dog if you don't want to take care of them. Anyway, after the dog almost falls off in this scene for like the fucking 4th time, in this one scene alone with them going over this acid ocean, they finally reach the other side. Then they get attacked by the tentacle things, but they're okay now. They follow the root system. They reach the heart of Pando, and that's when they see all of these things. These creatures attacking the hell out of the root system. They think it's the heart of the root problem. So Searcher's like, well, I'm a farmer and this is how we deal with pests, so let's do this. So they start making this really big crop duster, because that's what his wife's job is. Splash, splish, splish, split, whatever his name is trying to tell Ethan, hey, splooshy, splooshy, splooshy. But Ethan can't understand splooshy, splooshinies. All he knows is that it feels wrong. And he gets into a fight with his dad about, I'm not you. Which honestly feels forced as fuck. Because, like, where did that come from? His father is like, you know, we're farmers, is what we do. I mean, you are a farmer by occupation. I mean, this, call me crazy, it's not really the time to kind of have a freaking conniption. But anyway, Ethan jumps off into the bloodstream all freaking psycho-like, and his father follows him, and his dad's like, oh no, I turned into my father, cause oh no, you said you don't want to be me, just like I said to my dad. So then they're all sad and blah blah blah. While they're moping around, they end up outside the mountains, the other side of the mountains, which is something that Searcher's dad always wanted. There's nothing but ocean everywhere. How they even know what that is a mystery to me. Then they find out that they're in front of a big thing that has an eye that opens. It's swimming on the ocean and there's an eye. Was it swimming with its eyes closed the whole time? It must be like, oh my god, you're one of my insides. What are you doing outside of me? You know? I like how its eye looks like the galaxy. It makes me believe that this is some kind of Eldritch Lovecraftian situation. Or what is it? The Eldritch horror from The Thing? No, not The Thing. Stephen King's It. Yeah, wasn't like the turtle, like the god, like the good version of the clown spider thing? Anyway. So that's like this thing. It's like a ginormous turtle situation, and it makes a lot of sense because, like I said, a lot of the things inside look like body pieces. They're like, shit, that's an eye. So they find out the stuff that was giving them electricity and progress is actually killing their planet, sorry, their turtle, their world. How is it that these people, like, I don't even understand. Like, what would have been more believable is if the people all kind of looked genetically homogenous, because if they're here and not realize that the world that they're on is a living being or turtle, I'm guessing there's like metaphors there somewhere, I would have guessed that enough time would have had to go by long enough for all the diverse people to blend together to make one race of people, you know? Because that's usually what happens over time. You want to see a fast way this happens in like a super fast way in like micro evolution. Look at dogs when they go feral and look at how they all end up looking like dingoes. It's the weirdest thing ever. Anyway, they figure out, oh, see, we're actually attacking the turtle. It's alive. I mean, the beast thing. And it's alive, and if we continue cropping the Plano plant thing, we're gonna kill it, because us doing this for progress and electricity and like the future, which could actually end up prolonging the life of the turtle if we use the energy properly. But anyways, that's killing it, so we gotta take care of it right now or it's gonna die. But Callisto's like, no. So they get locked away. Splash gets them out. Then they have an idea and they make a hole inside the root system so that the immune system of the turtle can go inside there. They lead the monsters to it, and the sun led them to this hole. Don't know why, you know, if the monsters were ignoring them up until this point because of the very obvious situation with the heart being attacked, why they would see one deggy human being and decide that they're going to stop everything they're doing and follow him. That made no sense whatsoever. They should have used like the berries or stuff. That would have been better. That was a plot contrivance there. But anyway, things go inside. It's very freaking skeevy. They're like, oh my god, there's a hole. Go inside of it. And they go inside, and apparently the electricity from the inside of the root of the plant doesn't electrify them. Outside does. I didn't realize the root was hollow. It's very weird. Anyway, all the stuff breaks away and they get rid of the root system. They're like, yay, fan my head. They're like, yes, but it's too late. The heart is dead. But then those little mucus things come. Here come the sauropods that drop the mucus goblets. And they fix the areas they got shaken off. and start doing repairs. Then the heart comes back to life and beats stronger than ever. And then blood can go into it. Told you those were blood streams. I knew it from I saw them eating those little droplets and turning different colors like they're picking up oxygen. It was so obvious. Maybe it's like a baby, they wouldn't realize it. But all the things, the body pieces inside this thing are like, you guys are actually nice now. So all the body pieces say goodbye. See you in the next anime. And for his dad, Searcher takes his dad on the other side of the mountain to see what he's looking at. And the turtle looks at them. The dad's like, this is perfect. Father and son. He's like, you are my legacy. 1 year later, the father goes to see his ex-wife who moved on with another dude. But I'm hoping like, oh, maybe they'll get back together. And they're like, what's up? She opens the door and she's like, flowers. But she's actually still with that dude who's like 3 times bigger than her original husband. And he's like, that's who Sheldon is? Great. And then Sheldon's like, yay, you're gonna be a throuple with us now, because that's like heavily the implication. I don't know what, that is just weird to me. Like, what's up, dude? We thought you were dead 25 years, like for 25 years, and I fucked your wife during this time. Sorry? Come give me a hug. So weird. Okay, so I missed this time around. I guess I wasn't looking. I don't know what I was looking at. Why do they look related? Incest. Anyway, so they are, I guess, now a couple because they're hugging up on each other. So the implication is that they have gotten together and they're on the inside of the body, making sure that it continues functioning well. And he loves to explore, so that's Ethan's life now. He stays down in the budai of the thing and makes sure it runs smoothly and all oiled and stuff. Then the people are in the city and I guess they made something that causes electricity, so they never needed the plants. And then Searcher and his dad bond. Searcher and his father become farmers together. Searcher's already a farmer, but his dad settles down and becomes a farmer too, and it becomes Clade Farm, and he loves his dad and his mom and his daddy, and I don't know what I'm saying right now. Then they do a wicked zoom out of them playing together, which is really sweet, and it's like, look at all this land, look at this world, and they zoom out to this, like, where are these people from? How? Look at this. Look at the mountain range, like all around in the pit of the mountain. That is the only place they can inhabit. How is it that, like, who dropped them here? And then this big ass turtle that's on this planet, is this Earth? Where does freaking big ass turtle come from? This freaking random ass galactic turtle. Did it eat all the other land masses? Is this from some other universe? Did humans from Wall-E come here and drop off some of their people here on what happens when the turtle dies? The turtle must have a lifespan, right? There's other turtles like it out there. Somebody dropped it there. The thing is so big, it can't even go inside itself, like inside the Earth, planet, whatever. What happens when it dies? It almost died just now. So you expect people to just stay still and not progress at all? Because if every little thing that you do is gonna drain the turtle's heart to pieces, and then what? I mean, if they could create airships and all that stuff, why don't they just create their own landmass so they're not sucking the turtle dry of its life force? So many questions, but all in all, it was a decent movie. I did not hate it at all. Maybe I'm a bit biased because it had alien life forms or other life forms or whatnot, but I thought it was actually quite cute. As the main character's son says, Ethan, there's no bad guys in this game. It's just learning how to utilize the environment around you. There's no bad guys or good guys, you know, just each other. But, you know, I guess that's something that they just failed to mention. It's a very nice message. A little bit contrived, maybe a lot contrived. But yeah, I didn't think it was a bad movie at all. So I don't know why people are giving it that rating. But anyways, good job, Disney, for at least trying to come up with something other than the shit you've been coming up with. Jesus. Anyway, they close out with the comic book stuff about Strange World. Issues that will never sell. Because there's no villain, so there's no reason to, like, overcome. It's not memorable. There's usually memory involved when you have to overcome a super large obstacle. That is something you will never forget. Like someone trying to freaking eat people because they're trying to survive and they want to eat them and use them as drugs to fuel their life force. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori, who ask, me answer.